Hello everybody and welcome to ZeldaSpeedRuns, broadcasting the Elite of the Past Randomizer Crosskeys Tournament 2021. We have the Swiss round 6 for you today. It's Andy versus Orange. Commentating for us we have Zeke Highwind and Danny Music, and tracking are Professor Pixie and Toffile. Say hello everybody.
Good evening.
Hello everybody. Hope you're all having a very lovely start of the week on Monday. Excited for some Randomizer and to see some Ganons go down very quickly. This is a Swiss round in the Crosskeys tournament. Both of our competitors are 4-1, so we will see who will continue to have only one loss and who will drop down to 2.
Yep. Losing this match does not make either of them at risk for elimination, but it brings them to a 1 game left before elimination point. Basically, loser here has to win everything to make it into the brackets.
To make it into the playoffs, which they'd also have to win the playoff game, and even in order to get to brackets, although that does include winning everything. That being said, the runners are now on their way, both starting at the house this time, and we get bombs right away, which is fantastic.
Never gonna say no to early bombs in this mode.
So Andy is opting to check the Hyrule Castle area first, and Orange is doing the Crosskeys opening of fake flippering to the remote area where the witch's hut is, and we'll do the drop down most likely to start with a lot of money right away.
And Andy has already found Hotel Mario. So, for those who like their bingo cards, there you go. And at our potion shop, we have a small key to Castle Tower already.
And I believe Andy just found the magic bat, and we'll save and quit out of there. So Orange going to fake flippers across to see what the other drop down is. He is going right in. Andy finds the potion shop. Orange finds useless fairy and will indeed fake flipper to get some money.
Always fun to find the useless fairy drop in its vanilla location.
So Andy is going to retrace Orange's steps a bit, and we'll see what Orange opts to do after collecting that sweet 255 rupees. Or 225 rupees.
Yeah. That Houlihan opener is a very common opener in this community. And it looks like Orange is going to go check the castle.
Yep, so now we're retracing even more steps right away. Orange is going to also find Hotel Mario, and we'll see what Andy opts to do after getting the 225 rupees.
And we have a Hearts tree pull. And on our tracker, the water droplets above Swamp Palace indicates whether our runners have found the floodgate.
Yep, when the dam is drained, there will be a little X that appears there. So we see Orange starting at the Sanctuary and finds a map. I didn't see which map that was. Sanctuary
Tower of Hera.
Tower of Hera. Sanctuary this time is right in the heart of Kakariko Village. Andy, on the other hand, is opting to go check the areas to the right of Link's house. Orange is immediately going to use those bombs to break into the back of Hyrule Castle for not too much. Misery Mire small key could mean something for logic regions.
I mean, well, logic only makes small keys from Mire effective at 3. It does make routing convenient to get the first one.
Andy finds the bottom of Spiral Cave, so we'll know one connector, and Andy is opting to go check out the Eastern Palace area. Orange, in the meantime, finds Super Bunny Cave and is going to go through that. Andy finds Mini Moldorm Cave, but doesn't have enough bombs to be able to clear that right now. We'll see if the places in Eastern Palace end up yielding more bombs for Andy.
I mean, we have an Ice Rod Cave. There could be bombs here. Or there could be 5 rupees. Have we found both 5 rupees now? Because I think there's only 2 of them.
That could be. Alright, Orange gets a map to pod, and we'll see where Super Bunny connects to. Yeah, there are 2 green rupees. I'm not sure how many blue rupees there are in the pool.
And Super Bunny leaves you on the Turtle Rock Laser Bridge exit.
Alright, so Orange is going to continue to explore Kakariko, and he has to be a little careful with only 1 heart, but as long as those Octoroks don't decide to body him, there should be no problem. And Orange finds a shop for bombs and will gladly purchase 10 of those with the rupees that were obtained from Houlihan.
And he got a little lucky not having to wait for a while at that last Octorok.
Ooh, Andy finds Hype Cave. With a sword. And 10 bombs. And a bow.
That's a pretty hype cave, my friend.
Wow. Alright, well, Andy definitely has some weapons to be able to take on Mini Moldorm Cave now. Opts to save and quit, might head his way back over there again. And it looks like that is indeed what he's going to do.
Save and quitting there makes sense. He did only have 1 heart, and that leaves you very little room for error with Mini Moldorms.
Okay, so we saw Orange head to the Lost Woods area, finds the Lumberjack, not the Lumberjack, the Lost Woods vanilla dropdown.
That's 2 now.
And the Hoarder Crab has hearts as well. So inside Mini Moldorm Cave, we have Compass for Thieves, Heart, Small Key for Swamp, Small Key for Gannis Tower, and the Magic Cape. So pretty decent haul there, too.
Yeah, finding that Swamp Small is very important, because that's the only Swamp Small we can find.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, we haven't found Uncle yet. Uncle is unfortunately not at Aghanim. The well is locked behind 2 Castle Tower Small Keys and a sword and the lamp.
We have one of those keys. Tower of Hera and Desert Palace for red crystals, with the bomb shop at Lumberjack.
So Orange going to opt to head down to check the Sanctuary, which makes sense. If Sanctuary ends up being Aga, which there's a decent chance at this point, then that will be 2 free items that you can get without needing gloves.
And we have a Lumberjack behind a glove.
I did not see what was on Lumberjack.
And
but Orange opts to save and quit.
West Snitch has Eastern Palace.
Red Rupee, thank you. Okay, Andy not going to opt to go through Super Bunny Cave right now. Will elect to look and find some more items in Kakariko first.
Meanwhile, we have Orange making the Eastern Palace dive. And Andy showing his skills as an archer.
Yep, Arrow Game, a very nice way to get some early money, especially at a time when you could potentially need to buy more bombs.
Also, Andy gets show off that, yes, if you hit the same target 5 times, you get 99 rupees instead of 64. And has found Ganon's tower.
Andy takes a Death Warp there, does not opt to look at the item that is on the torch at this time, but with Ganon's Tower being so easily accessible, he'll probably remember that when he gets the boots.
Probably. TR big chest at Bush House. That's 3 dungeons in CAC now, and a very convenient smith location right there at Sick Kid's house.
The Smiths have decided to move into town just a little bit more. That is a French vanilla Eastern map. We have found a bunch of maps early on, so we'll get a lot of information quickly. Orange unfortunately takes a death trying to go to the big key chest in Eastern Palace. A pretty difficult thing to do when you don't have a sword or much of a way to light your way. And Orange does opt to leave Eastern Palace at this point. I believe I saw that Eastern is a crystal. Not a red one, but a regular crystal. And Orange will get the big key from the bottle merchant as well.
Meanwhile, we have a connector from Bomble Hut to, it looked like, Dark Fortune Teller north of Village of Outcasts. And here's another dungeon in CAC. We have Thieves Town.
Ooh. Andy finds the lamp. Lamp in Thieves Town makes that early Aghanim play even more likely. And yes, Desert and Hera are both red crystals, which is information we knew from the bomb shop.
And Orange is giving us a look in another drop down. Who do we have here? We have Uncle. What does that leave us?
What does that leave us? We have seen all but one. That leaves us Ganon himself. So we will be needing to find that Ganon's Tower big key and climb Ganon's Tower.
Where? Professor Pixie's right. Where is the bat?
The bat is Hyrule Castle. Uncle Dropdown, yes.
So, Vanilla Ganon.
Yep. Vanilla Ganon, Vanilla Useless Fairy.
There's our second Castle Tower key.
Wow. Early Aghanim looking even more likely.
All we need are the boots, and we have well access once we find the Castle Tower. And there's our first glove in Paradox. And our mirror. That early sword is paying off huge right now.
Yeah, Andy has now found all 3 locations that have 5 items. Oh wait, no, this was Paradox Cave. There's one more.
We're missing Blind's hideout.
That's right.
And Paradox... the bottom... I'm amused. Paradox is at both Old Man Cave and Bumper Cave bottom. So it leads to the same world.
Paradox Cave is actually paradoxical.
Nick, thanks for question. That's the Death Mountain entrance, the Old Man Rescue Cave.
So we see Orange going into Thieves Town, going to get that lamp. Andy heading north, I don't believe has done the Lost Woods checks yet. Interestingly, when Andy decides to go through Super Bunny Cave, since he has the mirror already, Andy will have access to the right side of the bottom of Death Mountain in the Light World. Because he can mirror there, whereas Orange could not at that point.
Yes, he can. And Andy already has both Agatower keys, so he'll know that he's very close to getting this, well.
Yeah, he could just beat Agatower to have access to the Dark World super early and then check out places with the mirror. That might be less appealing, though, because Andy doesn't currently have a way to get to the Village of Outcasts area, and has already checked the places to the Eastern Palace area.
We have a connector to Village of Outcasts, Fortune Teller.
Oh, alright, then we can go to Village of Outcasts.
The other thing they're missing for that is, of course, Castle Tower itself. Right, this is going to be tricky for Orange. He has to get these checks with only bombs.
Yeah, let's see if the mini Moldorms decide to play nice this time. Unfortunately, one of them looked at that bomb and said, yeah, no thanks. Alright, very nice clear by Orange. Even saves 2 bombs to be able to do a bomb jump, and is rewarded with that mirror.
Beautiful bomb usage today.
And now with the mirror, Andy is going to go through Super Bunny, which will definitely pay off. Andy will be able to check the places in the right side of Death Mountain. Unfortunately, Orange takes a death to the mini Moldorms before being able to exit out of Paradox Cave top.
Not an easy room to get through without weapons. And Andy finds himself on Death Mountain with a mirror.
Alright, so Andy is going to go to the bottom of Death Mountain here. Orange will finish checking out this other stuff that's in Kakariko. Will gladly buy those bombs to refill the supply. And Andy finds the big key to Turtle Rock.
And Orange finds Desert.
Yeah, this is a pretty good connector to find last. You can go through, get an item, and then see at least one of the entrances that Desert Palace leads to. Plus, with the mirror, that could potentially create even more value. If Orange finds the left side of Death Mountain, that could be very useful. Or even if Orange finds somewhere like the remote exit in Desert Palace vanilla area, that would be pretty nice to have. A lot of potential upside to the connectors here.
Andy has found Hyrule Castle up on East Death Mountain, however.
Another dungeon that has items and connects to 3 places. Andy opting not to go for that yet, though. There's not that much that's in Hyrule Castle that's logically accessible right now, but with the lamp being found already, Andy can go to Dark Crossroom at the very least. I did not see where that right connector led to on Orange's side.
It led to Ice Palace.
Oh.
But we did not check Hylia Island while we were there. Might be seeing if he can get back into Desert Palace at middle here. Meanwhile, Chad is having a lot of fun with Orange's name, making a lot of juice puns.
Alright. So Orange goes through the middle exit to Desert Palace and finds the Dark World Shopping Mall. Going to go and see what's going on in the Light World as well. So this is a pretty useful connector for Orange. Unfortunately, there's only one place in the Dark World Shopping Mall that he cannot get at this point.
Does find some treasure in the under the rock, which
The
has our
hook
hook
shot.
shots.
All right.
And a connector.
Yep, Orange finds a Death Mountain Descent connector, and might as well go through it now that he's done exploring in this area. We'll see where this connects to.
Meanwhile, we've got the Zelda cell, and that connector connects to Death Mountain West, which does mean Orange will be able to get to East Death Mountain from here.
Mm-hmm. So Orange will be able to get to pretty much all the same places that Andy will. Just does have to be careful to make sure that with only 3 hearts, Orange doesn't get killed by these rocks. Hopefully they cooperate nicely.
Meanwhile, we have Dark Cross going on Andy's side. Only some arrows. And that does mean Andy can now go check the exits of Hyrule Castle.
Orange finds a key on the Spectacle Rock. Andy finds a key to Misery Mire. Orange's key is to Pod, which is the 3rd one, I believe.
That sounds correct. And the Tower of Hera has the old man exit.
Yeah, so good thing we had the mirror for that. Alright.
And that Hyrule Castle entrance on East Death Mountain is the only entrance we can get to.
Yeah, that's right, because the other ones are not currently, well, accessible via any normal way.
And then Andy needs to be careful here. Enemies here hurt a lot. But Orange also needs to be pretty careful. Does take the death.
Does take the death, but did deliver that old man and has the extra warp point at least.
So now we get to see where the old man leads. Such as right here on Mimic Ledge.
And Early Moon looking even better, and Orange does still have the ability to clean up the left checks on Death Mountain that he was able to miss because of the deaths, and also still has access, well, now has access to the right side of Death Mountain as well, so can clean up the checks that Andy saw earlier. Andy is doing a bit of bunny walking, which is a good thing to do when you have the mirror, because Super Bunny Glitch is possible.
That ledge is not very useful to anybody. Did that bomb just land in the wall?
We're gonna form a new entrance to check. We'll blow up our own entrance.
I mean, if there was a new entrance there, Orange would be able to get to it, just not legally.
Alright, so Orange opting to go for Hyrule Castle right away. With it being so close to a warp point, you might as well. We have also not seen the back entrance of Old Man Cave yet, so there's an additional warp point that is yet to be discovered somewhere.
Beautiful bomb escape. And Andy gets to check the race game. I think this is a blind race game right now.
I think so too. I don't think either runner has checked this yet. Finding hammer pegs, which leads to a small key to Hyrule Castle.
So the 10 arrows and this heart piece are now in logic.
Yeah.
Just in case anyone was worried about that.
Race game was a key to Pod. That's our fourth one collectively, and I think both of them have all four. Well, Andy has all four.
No. Because Andy does not have the one off Spectacle Rock.
Oh, so then between the two of them, there are 5 pod keys that have been discovered. So, Palace of Darkness could be a very important dungeon once we find it.
I think there's been 5 pod keys discovered between the two.
That's enough to make it possible to get every chest except for the ones that are locked behind the big key. And since Andy has a bow, Andy can also do the bow-locked ones in logic.
I do know that Orange can mimic clips, so he would be able to get them out of logic should he find pod.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think that's right, Professor Pixie. I think that each of them has one pod key that the other one does not.
And Orange is checking this last exit before going out the connectors.
Okay, Andy gonna continue to bunny walk south. We'll be able to check Cave 45 and investigate the swamp area, which he has not really been to yet.
There's pod.
Oh, this could be big.
Pod at Cave 45.
Alright, so Andy only has 3 pod keys, so we'll see what route he decides to take here.
I'm never against opening the front door when you don't have a big key. Meanwhile, Orange has opted to jump off Desert Exit and proceed down the southern part of Hyrule here.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. These checks are all available, especially with the gloves now. So this could be an area that Andy doesn't get to until pretty late. Unfortunately, Orange finds Mimic Cave there, and we don't have the hammer yet.
It also makes sense for Orange to continue this route because, unlike some, it would terminate at Mini Moleworm Cave rather than at Ice Rod Cave because we had that connector to Dark Shopping Mall.
Orange finds Turtle Rock, the main entrance, where the sluice should be. So far, nothing really turning up in pod for Andy, but we still have yet to look at the back.
And we got our first bottle from Pyramid Fairy at Mini Molten Cave.
Mm-hmm. And Orange decides to leave after that.
Hopefully to be going east from here, although with the bombs we'll now be checking the ferry south of Link's house, which I believe was the potion shop.
Yes, that's right.
You cannot get to Stumpy without a Moon Pearl because you can't... Those are boots. Because you can't get to the Stumpy without the ability to lift the bushes.
Right, there are lots of bushes on the way to Stumpy, even though you could talk to him if you could see him. But the boots that Andy found were in pod, and Andy will be going fast. Boots are extra good in Entrance Randomizer because there are several entrances in the game that you need boots in order to access. So Andy going to use Hammer Jump here, and we'll be able to see the last couple checks in pod. Which means that the only one that Andy will be isolating is the Vanilla Big Key Chest.
Chat pointed out that collectively the boots are locked by 4 pod smalls. And these mini modems are playing dodge. Chat also pointing out, once we find Castle Tower, we have access to 5 checks in the well. Andy did bow outside before going into the back.
Okay, Orange is making their way to Hype Cave, and will find the sword and bow and be very happy to see those, hopefully.
And there's our other end of Fairy Ascension Cave, behind Link's house.
Level 2 sword available on Desert Ledge.
Very nice to know where that is.
Yeah, that's a place that can be pretty tricky to get to because you don't necessarily have access to the Misery Mire area right away.
4 heart, green mail, Misery Mire. This can be scary with those whispers. Andy hits the mirror by accident. I've done that. I think everybody's had an accidental mirror moment.
It was so scary that Andy immediately nopes out of it. On accident, of course.
Yeah, excellently executed on that Mire 2.
Alright, so Mire has 6 checks that Andy can grab right now, and with 2 Misery Mire small keys, I believe almost all of them are in logic.
It's just these 2 on the left that are not in logic without 3 keys.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have the keys and fire, you just do these on the way. Orange comes back for this exit to Paradox Cave, is about to find the absolute funniest part of the seed.
Even in entrance randomizer, a paradox in the seed is a paradox. But Orange does elect to do some bunny walking now. Alright, checks out the Dark Sanctuary, which I don't believe we saw on Andy's side. It doesn't turn out to be anything important, though.
And is now going to the Curiosity Shop. Meanwhile, this Meyer play is not providing too much yet.
Yeah, Mirror makes bunny walking so good because if you find places that have checks, then there's a chance you'll be able to super bunny and just grab them. And if you find dungeons, then you can take a death and then do the dungeon too. Still looking for that moon pearl though.
Now, isn't that a convenient full magic drop?
Alright, Misery Mire does not really yield anything useful for Andy, and we'll see what happens next.
It looks to me like Andy could be going for the South Shore region. Which should hopefully end up getting him his hookshot. Meanwhile, Orange is going into Skullwoods.
Yeah, this makes sense. Skullwoods has a lot of items. All you have to do is take a little bit of deaths. Orange remembers to release the fairy before trying the death warp. I've definitely not done that several times.
Of course not. No, we as commentators have never made that mistake. The question is, if Orange goes Death Warp, or if Andy goes Death Warp, will he remember to release the fairy? Meanwhile, the Gibdo got stuck. You saw that funny Gibdo dance there, right?
Yes. Alright, Andy is gonna grab this hookshot and then most likely go through the Death Mountain Descent Cave and find his way to Westside Death Mountain. Which I believe there are some entrances that Orange was not able to check yet because of that death earlier.
And unfortunately, the bulk of Skullwoods today has locked itself in the back.
Very unlucky. Orange elects not to essentially softlock himself to grab that, and I don't blame him. Gonna check some more entrances as a bunny first.
With no Moon Pearl to be able to lift the bush to get to the back, it's not worth the softlock potential.
And boots were in pod, which is the Cave 45 entrance, so Orange will most likely be on their way there.
We'll have an extra key. Andy about to find and save the old man. Has either runner done a Dark World map check yet?
I don't believe so. We do have a couple maps. Well, actually, the only map I guess we have is Palace of Darkness for the Dark World stuff. Although we do know all three of our Light World dungeons are crystals. Okay, so Dark World Death Mountain checks, of which there are 2, and we haven't seen those entrances yet from Orange either.
Well, there's Turtle Rock left side in the other check that Orange was not able to get.
So we do have the Turtle Rock Big Key, which means that Crystal Roller Room is available. And Orange is in pod and going to find those boots pretty shortly. With the additional key, Orange, I believe, will also be able to check the Vanilla Big Key chest. If he wants to. That would put him short a key to beat the boss, though.
Yeah. The thing is, we don't have a hammer anyways, so we have to burn a front door key, and with no big key, it might just be worth opening all the doors.
Yeah, especially with the map to pod, I think it would be pretty reasonable to look and see if pod's a pendant, then maybe you just make the play to never want to come back here to beat the boss.
It is incredible how empty the front of pod really is.
Yeah, pretty much nothing other than those boots.
And with Orange jumping off the ledge, we might not be seeing big key chest yet.
Okay, Andy checking the right side Death Mountain stuff. Don't believe we've seen the back yet. Andy is heading to the back of Old Man Cave now. So we'll see where that leads him. If this ends up being something like the Mire area, that could be very good. We'll get Andy a sword immediately, as well as a couple of entrances where the Moon Pearl could be. But
How
instead,
about top of Death Mountain?
I guess we take those, right? That also gets a couple entrances, although they're bunny locked yet for the most part, but there's one that's not. We find the blue cane on the floating island.
With the cape in our inventory, I don't think we'll be seeing either runner pick that up.
Okay. Nothing but fairies at the bottom of Dark Death Mountain there.
There was a fortune teller.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Andy does have the hook shot. The tracker has been known to eat inputs before.
Alright, now Andy checks that big chest and finds the fire rod.
The TR Laser Bridge exit was the Super Bunny exit, to answer a question in chat. So, fire rod in the big chest. Interesting. and is that a vanilla Turtle Rock key?
That is Crystal Roller Room Vanilla Turtle Rock key. So Andy could use that to go on to Laser Bridge, but is opting to check stuff leading towards the front of Turtle Rock first. We'll go to Chomp Room definitely. We'll most likely check the Vanilla Big Key chest, and we'll see if he decides to go to the back from there. With Laser Bridge being 4 items, even if it's not really in logic yet, I don't believe, still a good play to check.
He can't get there yet.
Oh, that's true. We don't have the cane. Silvers, though.
But with no red cane in sight at the moment, we won't be getting to Laser Bridge yet.
Covering the room. I don't doubt that would be possible for Andy.
It would likely be possible for him, but it would be a very slow hover. Yeah, like chat saying, there is no way he would do that in a race.
Yeah, so
That's Moon Pearl.
Orange finds the Moon Pearl in Chess Game, which is the Vanilla Bonk Rocks. That'll make getting around the Dark World much easier, and can check a couple of the other places that were missed earlier. And it looks like Andy is also just about to get that Moon Pearl. He had opted to go check that torch item in Ganon's Tower before doing anything else.
So, with Dark World open to us, we have options now. Let's see where these runners take them. Andy is going for the Hookshot Cave entrance, by the look of it.
Okay, Orange doing the other boots lock check that remains, which is King's Tomb. And we find
Cave
Ice Palace.
and Laser Bridge. Laser Bridge at Hookshot Cave entrance.
Thieves Town Small Key could be relevant.
And a connector at Graveyard Ledge.
Yep, this one will take Orange to the Dark World Link's house.
That's a useful connector to know about. Little slow to get to, but is a... Well, let's check the last boots exit for one.
Mm-hmm.
By the look of it on the tracker, boots and a bottle. To answer a question in chat.
Alright, Andy finds the red cane on the hobo, locked by flippers.
That's a place for that. That is Blind's hideout at Swamp Palace.
Yep, so that's another one of the high-density overworld locations you love to find. With the Master Sword. And the Red Rupee, and now there are much fewer blocks in Blind's hut than there used to be. Alright, Andy finds Spike Cave, locked behind Hammer and Flippers right now. And going to make their way to Zora, which is in logic. Zora Ledge is a big key, so with Fake Flip With a splash deletion set up, Andy will be able to grab that. Orange checking the remaining boots lock location. Andy turning down the mushroom?
No, he's putting himself on the land before he picks it up.
Ah, that makes sense.
Because if he had picked up the mushrooms then, he would have put himself...
Oh, but now it's gone and he can't afford it?
I didn't know that happened.
Oof.
And Andy's as amused on that one as we are. Does get the splash delete first try. I did not know the item would despawn if he went that far.
Oh, man. Alright, Andy gets a big key to Desert Palace. So, good for one check, and we have not seen the back yet. But when they find the back, then you'll be able to get it. Speaking of the back of Desert, Orange finds a cave with an item and bombs.
Were you hoping that was the back of Desert right there?
Yes. Yes, I was.
Okay. But it has 300 rupees, which is very nice. When Andy does get that mushroom, it'll have been 1,000 rupee mushroom.
Ooh, Orange finds Aga Tower, and absolutely I think you do Aga Tower right away right here. Not only is it the 2 items that are in Aga Tower itself, but Aga Tower gives access to the Kakariko Well, which has 5 items, and Orange finds the flippers right away, so that mushroom... Well, I guess the mushroom was always in Logic. Spike Cave is a little closer to Logic, then.
That Desert Big is in Logic.
That Desert Big is in Logic, thank you.
And welcome to this race, Zelda Speedruns. I missed what Orange grabbed there.
I don't believe it was important. But yeah, Orange is going to do Aga Tower right now. So the other advantage to doing it this way is Orange has a way to get past the barrier. Actually, the barrier will be gone once you do Aga Tower, so that didn't even matter. But we'll be able to get the 3 entrances at the top of Hyrule Castle. Okay, and now Andy with the Moon Pearl is looking to take the same route that Orange did, checking out Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb first.
They're very out of the way otherwise. With the Fire Rod, Andy might go into Skull Woods here.
Yep, that's true. Andy, if you go into Skull Woods here and check out the back, you're obligated to do the drop down, but with the Fire Rod, you'll be able to get the entrance that's at the back of it. And we find Ice Palace for Andy without the hammer, but Andy does it anyway. He doesn't like it, but he's doing it.
What our viewers can't see is we can see Andy's face cam from our commentary stream, and he's giving the head shake on this one, but he's going in.
Andy is making all of the funny faces. This is not sparking joy. Andy does have the red cane, but without another small key to Ice Palace, Andy would be locked on the right side if trying to do Icebreaker.
He could Icebreaker to the chest and then push the blocks to get back out.
That's true.
Meanwhile, Orange is fighting the wizard.
Yep. And Andy going to opt to do the bomb jump for Ice Palace instead. Or maybe not even the bomb jump, because unless you're hoping to find Hammer here, then you won't be able to complete the dungeon. Andy does have the big key to Ice Palace already. Oh, opts not to do it?
He's stealing the berry key and going down right side.
Ah, okay. All right, that's a new one for me. I have learned something new today. Alright, so Orange has Aga cleared, is at the top of the pyramid, going to check these 3 entrances, and we'll have the well open at Lumberjack.
Very nicely executed on that icebreaker.
Yep. Half magic available in the Spectacle Rock entrance that we don't have access to yet. And Orange finds Tower of Hera on top of Hyrule Castle. With the hook shot, we can do quite a lot here.
We have a big key too. So the stuff we do with the hook shot would be in logic. Because I think it's still going to be faster at this point. That's an ice rod.
That is an ice rod. So once Orange picks up the fire rod, then and the cane from the hobo, then Orange will be able to do back of Turtle Rock for Trinex.
Yeah, that does put Trinex in logic.
Yeah. Key permitting, I don't know if we have enough keys for that yet.
Well, not logic, but accessible. Logic is just we don't listen to key logic a lot of the time in this community.
Especially not for Turtle Rock, because there are so many entrances that you can do in multiple orders. And he finds a potion for magic refill at a pretty convenient time without any magic, but most likely won't be continuing on to Cold Stare here unless this last couple of chests happens to have the hammer.
He might need to drink that potion to get this freeze room check, though.
Yep, so that really did work out then.
Meanwhile, Orange gets their first crystal out of Tower of Hera at Hyrule Castle West.
Magic powder? That's
really convenient right now, actually.
Yep, magic bat is right here. Orange can just drop down.
He will probably take the mirror portal and do it from the Dark World in order to not lose portal. Because there's no way back up the castle from here. Did Orange not check?
I don't believe we saw the pyramid ledge from Orange. I think he realizes it now. Okay, Orange is grabbing Magic Bat now, but did skip Pyramid Ledge item, so...
That mirror portal use, because we killed Aga, the gate is now a Dark World portal.
Right, so it's not too difficult to get back to the Pyramid Ledge item if need be, though, if it's something important, then Orange will need it sooner than later. Alright, and we do see the back of Skullwoods from Andy. We'll see if Andy decides to do the drop down, but with Fire Rod, I think you are likely to make that play.
Yeah, we found the back of front of Skullwoods here in front, and the question is, will Andy go to the front of Skullwoods in the back? Chat's head hurt yet?
Alright, Orange does grab the Pyramid Ledge item, which turns out to be another pod key.
That's a good thing to have, because now everything can be... Although Orange did scum that pod key. A comment in chat pointing out that Hyrule Castle main entrance is technically mirror locked if Ganon is at the Hyrule Castle drop down after Aga. But couldn't you fight Ganon to phase 4 and drop down?
Ooh, Andy just found the big key to Eastern Palace in the quote-unquote front of Skullwoods. And we have not actually found Eastern Palace yet. But
And that
with the
pinball
bow,
room,
that's full clearable.
that pinball room chest is a guaranteed small key.
Alright, let's see what's locked behind Fire Rod. Orange gonna grab that Desert Palace big key. And the other side to Hookshot Cave.
We haven't seen the front side of Hookshot Cave.
Oh, by the other side I meant the back side, but yes.
We haven't seen the front, so this is 4 items. So this is very good for Andy.
Also means that Andy doesn't have to save and quit, so that's nice. And we find Titan's Mitts, that's nice.
Never gonna say no to a lift upgrade.
So Titan's Mitts and Crosskeys, they don't unlock too many entrances on their own, but if you combine them with the flute, that could be your only way into the Misery Mire area, which at this point we know we would get a sword if we are able to find. We'll need the flute in order to get over there, though.
Meanwhile, Orange is going... What was up here? Oh! Orange has beaten Aga 1. We're getting well.
Yeah, and with those castle tower keys, end lamp, and boots in logic so early, I think this is a likely payoff here. We got Bugnet.
Of course, the Bugnet's locked behind Aga 1.
No swag item today. We get to know a little bit more about Swamp Palace.
Meanwhile,
And nothing else, surprisingly.
and Andy has found the back of Desert at, I believe this was the pod entrance.
Yep, so Kiki unlocked the wrong dungeon this time around, but both of our runners do have that big key, so once they find it, they'll be able to beat this right away for a red crystal.
I'm kind of shocked that the well had nothing after everything pointed us there.
Me too, honestly.
Orange really needs to get to Hobo. What's convenient about this mushroom turn is we can just jump back in this whirlpool, because Light World, what I call the Light World Hype Cave, has our potion shop.
Yep, that's right. For 2 remote locations, they're surprisingly very convenient to get to. And the potion shop ends up being a small key to Pod, which Andy most likely won't need, so it won't matter that Andy didn't pick up the mushroom earlier.
That's all 6 pod keys.
That is. Don't have that big key yet, but that's everything.
Meanwhile, Orange can make use of that portal to... Alright, we have a Pendant Mire, Pendant Skull, and Pendant Turtle Rock.
Oh my gosh, of course.
Green Pendant Turtle Rock.
Green pendant turtle rock. And, well, I guess it's obvious, but Swamp is a crystal. Everything is a crystal. So, Orange, I believe that means Orange that knows the full layout of which dungeons are pendants and crystals now.
Orange does not. Andy does.
I believe, didn't Orange check the Eastern Palace one, though?
Yes, but Orange doesn't know Turtle Rock.
Oh, I see. Okay. Dramatic irony, then. We get to know the full layout of pendants and crystals before the runners do.
Yeah. So, Andy is going to get the Tower of Hera clear. Meanwhile, Orange is at the Palace of Darkness area, which we know has Desert Palace, but I don't remember much else here.
I think it was just Desert Palace through Kiki, but Orange finds Hookshot Cave the other way, so we'll pick up those Titan's mitts.
And if he continues through, can pick up the back of Skullwoods. The back front... Skullwoods. It's Paradox Cave all over again, I swear.
And Orange is going back through, but Orange did not find the back of Desert at Kiki yet, so this will bring Orange a bit away from there.
This will also be a one-way trip.
Yep, because Orange doesn't have the Fire Rod from Turtle Rock East Big Chest yet. This does, however, allow Orange to check the front of Skullwoods, which he has not done yet. Do we know where Big Bomb is? Yes, Big Bomb is Lumberjack House.
Eastern Palace is very accessible for these runners. So, what's unfortunate for Orange is he can't get back to the pod area without save and quitting. And I think we're about to see Andy do some hovering.
Andy's gonna hover just to get this half magic. And maybe look at that other connector, too.
No?
Nope, doesn't want to look at the other connector yet.
He's gonna bomb jump back over. We hovered over for half magic, and we're bomb jumping back.
Alright. Orange, hopping into Eastern Palace, has everything that we need to complete it, including the lamp, even.
I believe Orange has the Desert Big Key, because he picked up the mushroom at Zora.
Yeah, Orange should have the Desert Big Key. Orange did not find the back of Desert yet. Interestingly, Orange electing to... Oh, Orange was already here. Never mind.
Yeah, Orange...
I forgot that we did the first couple.
Yeah,
Orange died in...
death in the back.
Right, so Orange will be able to make up for that now with the big key.
I think... So Andy has a decent chance going back to Zora here.
Yep, and now has legitimate flippers and enough rupees, so we'll get that mushroom. Which we know is a pod key, but Andy doesn't know yet.
I don't think Andy has flippers yet.
Oh, right, because Andy didn't do Aga yet. Our one good thing in Aga Tower, or locked behind Aga Tower, and it was available in the first chest. Behind 0 keys.
Meanwhile, we have Orange going to visit everyone's favorite Armos Knights.
Yeah, I think I like these Armos Knights more than the ones that are in the basement of Ganon's Tower. And we have both runners in Eastern Palace.
Chat point out we have all dungeons. I believe that's correct. I just don't remember where Swamp is.
Swamp is the house south of the Lost Woods in the Light World. Orange finds the big key to Swamp.
Speaking of Swamp Palace.
Yeah. We do have the Swamp Palace small key. I don't believe we found the Sluice yet, though.
Yeah, I don't think we found that floodgate. And Orange is about to get that fire rod here. Wait.
Oh, Orange didn't have the big key to Turtle Rock.
Where was that?
I'm not sure.
Andy has found the floodgate, apparently.
Okay.
I don't remember where.
I'm not sure where that was either. There's a lot to keep track of when you're watching 2 games at once with entrances.
But Orange will get his silver arrows right after fighting Armos Knights. I legitimately do not remember where that big key is.
Alright, nice use of the cane to get through that room with the chain chomps, and Orange opting to go to the left side of Turtle Rock, which will bring him to Death Mountain again. So now Orange will be able to check the places that he missed on left side of Death Mountain, and dark left side Death Mountain.
Which we know these two on Dark Death Mountain were nothing.
Right.
Although honestly, when you have 3 arrows and 13 arrows in the inventory, you want this.
Yep, especially with them being silver.
The flippers were in Aghanim's tower. Oh. So Tiarbig is in the Light World Laser Bridge exit.
Okay.
And Orange has not gone back through...
Orange hasn't gone back through
Super
Old
Bunny.
Man Cave.
Because Orange didn't have mirror for Super Bunny Cave. But does get to check the bottom here with Titansmiths. And Andy is taking the Cane of Samaria and the Fire Rod. And checking out what's in Ganon's tower. When you have all 4 keys to this tower as well,
There
Well-
was Chicken Hut. Okay.
Here's our Turtle Rock big. Question is, how long will it take Orange to get back to that big chest?
Mm-hmm.
Although if Hammer's accessible, and nothing is behind the right side against our, we have a potential for Fire Rod not to be needed.
It's true. I also believe that the right side to Turtle Rock was right in Kakariko Village, so shouldn't take too long for Orange to get back there, hopefully. And he finds the big key to Thieves on right side Ganon Sour and Compass Room.
Well, Fire Rod's now important.
Yep.
And our big game day, 6 digs for 10 arrows. Chat pointing out that all that remains for Go mode are the Pod Big and the Hammer. And I think the Floodgate.
Mm-hmm. Which, depending on where that floodgate is, you could need more. And also because this is, yeah, Willie says it is in chat. Also because we know that Ganon's Tower is required because Ganon is in the pyramid, we'll need the Ganon's Tower big key.
So, 3 items from Go at 1 hour and 15. Well, this is a fast Crosskeys already. That's a Quake Medallion.
Mm-hmm.
And a Red Boomerang.
So now that Orange found a Turtle Rock small key, that does make going back into Turtle Rock more palatable, and I believe that that is what's going to happen here. Yes, so Orange is grabbing that Fire Rod, and is going to make his way to the back.
I believe Orange knows where the front of Turtle Rock is as well, so we may actually be seeing a Trinex kill here.
Well, if Orange uses a small key here... Oh no, this is a small key, so yeah, that'll be fine. So now Orange can both check Laser Bridge, check the back entrance of Turtle Rock if he wants to, and then beat Trinex.
Yeah. It seems our tracker's eating some inputs today, so Andy has done Eastern Palace.
Because when Orange found this place, Orange was a bunny. But it is Bumper Cave, and we do have the magic cape.
From this side, we have the hookshot.
Yep, we can also use the hookshot, that's fine too. And Bumper Cave connects up to here, which Andy could grab that blue cane if he wants to, and most certainly does not. Going to elect to go back over to the Dark World Shopping Mall area.
And like I said, we're going to find ourselves one Trinex. So, Orange does not have much room for error with this Trinex fight.
Yeah, Master Sword Trinex with no hammer. Gotta be pretty precise with these magic shots, especially without any magic restoration items. And Orange misses 1, 2, 3. You might have a green potion still? Yep, he does. Okay. So Orange will be fine.
Okay, that's a relief. I didn't realize he had a green potion. I missed when he picked that up.
And the other nice thing is with Cane and Fire Rod, this will put Orange immediately to the front Turtle Rock entrance, and we'll be able to pop back in and grab 3 more items.
With our third shield.
Yep. And the green pendant, which Orange now knows all the pendant locations.
We also have not found Saha yet.
That's true. Alright, Andy finds Aga Tower, is electing to do it right away, and with... Gonna grab those flippers, and with the back in... with Aga Tower leading to the well at Lumberjack, I don't blame him for doing Aga right away, even though we know that the well has nothing important.
Even without Aga in play, 2 items here, easy access.
Yeah.
But the game has pointed everything at Aga now.
This was available basically as soon as the runners found the boots. That was the last part of the puzzle that they needed for Aga.
I think actually the last part was the Moon Pearl life, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that is true. It was found in the brewery area.
A Death Warp in the Overworld, putting us at the Sank exit. Death Warp in the Overworld to get back to Turtle Rock entrance.
Alright, Orange picking up purple chests. And I think we're taking this on the world tour.
It's not too much of a world tour, it's mostly just Stumpy.
In the meantime, Andy with a very fast Aga Tower clear and is about to challenge Aga himself. Just a compass on Stumpy. Now that Orange has talked to Stumpy, he can run away, purple chest.
And purple chest. One of the other fun tricks we have is we can turn in purple chest without the purple chest, if we've picked up the purple chest and left it somewhere. By just mirroring right here in front of the guy.
Alright, purple chest just yielding bombs. Let's see where Orange opts to go yet. Still, everyone's looking for that hammer.
Looks like a mire dive.
Yep, okay, this makes sense.
6 items.
Yeah. Nothing important in Mire, unfortunately, but Orange does not know that yet.
Where do you go now if you're Andy?
Yeah, where
Is
could
this a Pyramid Fairy entrance check?
Where could this hammer be? It could be Pyramid Fairy. We've cleared Aga, so we have a way to bring the bomb into the Dark World. And we can walk there from Pyramid Fairy. This is Lumberjack first, but the big bomb is right there, and Andy has beaten both Desert and Tower of Hera. Sahasrara would be a very good find from Pyramid Fairy, although a better find for Orange, because Orange already has that green pendant.
Yeah, it's amazing that there was almost nothing behind Aga.
Hammer...
Not electing to do the big bomb.
Yep, no big bomb yet. Hammer could still be on pedestal. We would need to find the Meyer big key, and technically a Meyer small key as well, before that becomes in logic.
And not a Meyer small key, but the Meyer big, and logically some more small keys for both Skull and Turtle Rock.
Oh right, I forgot about that useless small key door in Meyer.
And Orange is going to go through Super Bunny Cave to get to Death Mountain.
Yep, this will be the one entrance that Orange had missed earlier. That was over Vanilla Fairy Ascension Cave. Okay, Andy also grabbing that lunchbox.
So what is left?
That's what I'm trying to rack my brain around. Not a whole lot. We don't have a way into the Meyer area.
We've not checked the fairy upgrade cave?
That's true. Orange is heading there now. And yeah, Andy left the chest behind because as long as you've seen the purple chest, then you can just deliver it to him. Okay, Orange is going into Desert Palace now. Turns out that the Vanilla Fairy upgrade fairy cave is nothing. Could be Thieves Town. We do have the big key now, and we didn't have it earlier. Should say Andy has the big key now.
When will we find... Orange needs to go into Ganon's Tower. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
But the only major progression there was Thieves Town big key. So I think that means Thieves Town has to be the play.
Thieves Town isolating that big key chest, especially when you already have the small key for it, is a bit unfortunate, but when we're this low on options, then sometimes it's what you have to do.
And Andy has now picked up Master Sword, closing that advantage for Orange. Thieves Town Big Key was right side Ganon's Tower.
Yep, that's right. Compass room. I'm not sure if we've seen this entrance from Orange yet.
This is the laser bridge exit.
Okay, we have seen that then. And we don't have any medallions for the Turtle Rock entrance. Not that that matters because we don't have a hammer anyway. Thief's Town is right in Kakariko. Okay. So here we're seeing Andy check Magic Bat, I think? Nope, Andy's heading... Oh, where is Andy heading? Up to turn in the mushroom and check the witch.
The Ice Palace Vanilla entrance is the Desert Palace Eastern entrance.
Alright. Orange has found Kiki and is going to find and beat the back of Desert now. Or opt to steal that small key, but I don't think you steal that small key here.
Not with Desert back being so far out of the way.
And with Desert being a crystal.
Especially not when you have a red crystal, know where the bomb shop is, and can get to the Hyrule Castle front gate.
Yeah. Which, that is a potential other play. The other play could still be the bomb shop, although that is not in logic until another Desert Palace small key is found. Alright, now Andy's checking Magic Bat.
So, Andy is in Kakariko. Are we going to see Thieves Town? I'm going with yes.
Yep. This is the first. Andy is the first of our runners to go into Thieves Town, which I think we've pretty much all but determined that progression has to be.
Orange has right side Ganon's tower.
Yeah. I think if you're Orange, you do right side Ganon's tower before... Well, you absolutely have to do right side Ganon's tower before, because the Thieves Town big key is there.
So with the small key, all three of these checks are in logic. Hammer could very easily be on blind and make you have to go all the way back in to get the big chest. It would be terrible.
Hammer in Thieves Town.
That's an awful spot for that.
Well, we have our progression now.
I think Orange has to go Thieves Town after this is the good part.
And at least Ganon's Tower and Thieves Town are both in Kakariko Village, so if Orange decides to do Thieves Town after this, it won't be too difficult of a play. I don't believe that there's too much left on Orange's side that he can do other than Thieves Town at this point. And with the hammer, we will not be isolating this big chest anyway. For the Desert Palace small key, so that puts the Pyramid Fairy entrance in logic.
That's a spot for that. And with access to Ice Armos, you just take the Ice Armos trip here. Some fun movement to watch from Andy there.
Dam could be at Pyramid Fairy. The other alternative is we could find the flute somewhere. Hammer opens up a lot more entrances, including a lot on the left side of Ganon's Tower. We also, however, do need the Ganon's Tower big key, so we'll see what Andy decides to do now, if he risks isolating the big chests in favor of density, and Andy is going right back to Ganon's Tower.
It's one of the densest plays you can make here.
Yeah. We have an entrance left to find, and even with the hammer, there aren't too many places in the overworld it can be, so I think that the entrance is mostly locked behind finding a way to that mire area, and that way we've pretty much determined has to be flute, since there isn't a connector that goes there.
And Orange is going right to Thieves Town.
Yep, Orange is going right to Thieves Town, so this is the play that Orange needs to make. Orange is probably like 4 or 5 minutes behind Andy at this point, maybe less. And there's still opportunity for the seed to open wide up again.
The like 2 rooms you ever see Boomerang used in, I think it's this room, I think the 2 rooms we just saw, and the Circle of Pots room. You don't want that. That mire big is not something you want to see.
Yeah, now there are 2 more places in Misery Mire that you have to worry about. Alright. The left side doesn't really yield too much other than that Mire big key from Andy. And I think at this point Andy's gonna look at the Hammer Pegs entrance.
When you're right here, it makes sense. As well as the Hammer Shop entrance, as chat points out.
Also true. Why not Ice? Ice would be pretty valid too. Andy has already cleared pretty much everything in Ice that wasn't hammerlocked, so Ice might not be quite as much on his radar yet, even though it is a crystal. And we are looking for the Pod Big Key, the Ganon's Tower Big Key, and the Dam to open up Swamp Palace. And we'll potentially need the flute if the dam entrance is unavailable. Andy finds the Pod Big Key.
Directly behind the hammer.
Yeah, and this is a pretty convenient place for the Pod Big Key because Andy could just opt to do Pod right now.
And he's showing us off new hookshot tech. And it looks like Andy is going directly for Palace of Darkness here.
Yep, you're already in the Dark World, and maybe you'll find Flute here, so that makes a lot of sense.
Now, does Orange do Gaines Tower here?
Orange is not heading over to Ganon's Tower this time. Orange is going to Desert Palace instead, so there are two chests behind the Desert Palace small key, which we got in Thieves Town, and we'll see what is yielded here. Andy did pass by Desert on the way to Pod, but didn't go into Desert yet. He might check the Desert chests after clearing Pod.
Wouldn't be surprising.
Small key to Hera. We didn't want that one.
You don't want that.
I mean, I guess if you can start at the pyramid, it's not exactly hard to go back to, but Tile Room is such a pain.
And Orange is skipping. Yeah, Orange is skipping the Games Tower checks for now.
Yeah, they're looking for entrances right now, and I think we've now seen all of the entrances that are accessible without Bombos Medallion required to open up Turtle Rock. So that means that we will be needing the flute in order to get to Mire area, in order to get to the stuff that's locked in either the Mire area or Desert. Oh, that's true. Pyramid Fair we haven't seen yet.
And it's now logical with that Desert Small. Meanwhile, Andy is on Helm's Arcane. And down goes Helm's Arcane.
Oh, Helma Shovel. Well, this is also fairly convenient because the shovel spot is right outside.
Yep, it is. And Orange is now going into the GT entrance.
Yep. So, only thing here is a Mire Big Key, but maybe we need that Mire Big Key. We'll see.
I hope we don't need that Mire Big Key.
Pod Big was behind Hammer Pegs.
Agina's Cave behind the Hammer Pegs. Orange just picked it up. We got a French vanilla single arrow.
Ganon is where Ganon should be, inside the pyramid. So we're gonna need the Ganon's Tower Big Key before he becomes attainable. Which definitely doesn't make you feel bad about doing the climb, at least. Alright, I think we're going to be seeing the big bomb check from Andy.
It does look that way. Yep, we are getting the big bomb check.
Okay. So, this will tell us if we need the flute. Well, this will give us more information about if we need the flute, I should say. It could still be the case that we need the flute just to find an item that we need in the mire or desert area.
I think Orange is also doing the big bomb.
Yeah, Orange is right behind Andy at this point. Nope, Orange is going past it. What has Orange not checked yet?
He's going to ice.
Ah, okay. Well, this is also a fair play.
Pyramid Fairy is Spiral Cave.
Yeah. Ice gets you a crystal and a couple more items, and Orange hasn't touched ice at all yet, so we'll be able to get everything in one trip. And he finds a tempered sword, which means that we are looking for the flute. So flute could be here in Ice Palace where Orange is. It could be in the mire big key locked chests.
Very technically, we could be looking for Bombos instead.
We could also be looking for Bombos, that's true.
But I think progressions in ice?
I think there are 3 chests that we haven't seen in ice yet, and 2 that we haven't seen in mire. Andy is looking in desert, which we have seen on Orange's side.
Andy is not having luck with that mirror today.
Yep. Oh, also the Hera small key. That's another chest.
We really wish it wasn't.
We don't. That'll probably be the last one. Maybe not though. Hera's very easy to get back to.
Andy doing Spike Cave.
Yep, Spike Cave's another one. And Mimic Cave. I don't believe we've seen either.
I think that's down by the floodgate.
Yeah, Mimic Cave is the white rock entrance by the floodgate. Near the purple chest man. Okay, well, our answer was not Spike Cave. Orange with a very nice bomb jump over to check Ice Tea Room. And it looks like Andy is going to Mimic Cave.
Checking out these one-off checks. That bottle of green potion will probably be helpful here shortly.
Just a red rupee. Alright. The Ice or Mire dilemma comes up again. And since Mire is right here, I think Andy's going into Mire.
He's not going to get any closer to it than he is
Yep.
now.
So, this might be the decision that ends up determining the fate of the run here.
What is on Cold Stare versus what is here in this Misery Mire?
Orange uses the green potion, fortunately. Not quite enough to beat magic. Not quite enough magic to unfreeze Cold Stare.
Has to be a little careful here because these ice blocks do 2 hearts and these Cold Stare buffs do 4.
Mm-hmm. No Cold Stare hugs and Cold Stare down. And Orange finds the flute. That's very big.
That helps Orange immensely. You activate that flute now.
Yeah. Alright. So we're still looking for the Ganon's Tower Big Key. If the Ganon's Tower Big Key is here in Mire, then that could be the advantage Andy needs to even this race back up.
The one problem is, well, actually, this will also get Orange a third sword.
Yep, and good point. Orange also does still have to clear Pod, which I believe is why Orange went to the Dark World right now. He's going to do Pod, most likely check the shovel spot, and then head over to the Mire area, which will probably give Andy enough time to head back over into Ice Palace.
Also, note, that was a beautiful fluteless spooky from Andy.
Just the boomerang on our friend Vitreous. But at least it's the best boomerang.
There's one other entrance that that would be interesting to find right now in the Mire area.
Hmm?
We haven't found Saha.
That's true. Saha has 3 checks, but since Orange has the green pendant, then Orange would be able to get the 4th one. Andy does not have the green pendant, so that's another potential advantage. As for who's ahead or who's behind, it's close. It's an interesting one. This is very much anyone's game.
And Andy is going into ice, so this is why this match is close, because we know the flute is on Cold Stare. And he will have a faster Cold Stare than Orange did.
Yep, that Temper Sword paying off.
As well as covering for that half magic.
What about Pedestal? We'll need Skullwood's keys before Pedestal is in Logic, but against our big key could certainly be there, yeah.
Meanwhile, Orange arrives at the Helmassar King.
Yep, and Andy will arrive to Cold Stare shortly. This will be a quick Helmasaur fight with Silvers.
That tail ended up in almost the exact same place as it did on Andy's side.
That's not the RNG that's guaranteed.
That is a phenomenal Cold Star kill from Andy.
Yep, you're not gonna see much Cold Stare fights faster than that. And now the moment we're waiting for, Orange has entered the desert area, scouting out that sword that is on Desert Ledge.
We'll be picking that up.
Yep. We're about to see, I believe, 6 entrances? 7 entrances.
It depends on... What was that?
I didn't see if that was Quake or not. It was Quake, okay. So, 8 entrances! over here in the desert area. Surely the Sluice will be behind one of them.
If it's behind the Bombus Medallion on Turtle Rock.
There's Sick Kid. Alright, that wasn't the Bombos Medallion.
Or the GT Big Key.
Yeah, or the book, I guess. Andy's over here in the mire area as well. This is super close right now.
The Floodgate cannot be in Ganon's Tower because Swamp Palace is a crystal. If Misery Mire routing decides a raid, well, there's
Sahasrahla. Okay, is it in Sahasrahla's closet? No? 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 Orange is gonna pick up that half magic.
I mean, it's right here now. So, there is one check there that could give Orange a lead here, and that is that Saha Turnip. I wondered where the front of Old Man Rescue Cave was.
Hey, we can get to Death Mountain now for the first time ever.
Floodgate on checkerboard.
Floodgate. And there's our third
no.
Skull Wood Key.
Oh no!
Or is that our second Skullwoods key, technically? There's one that's guaranteed in Skullwoods itself, and I believe that counts as one of the keys.
Yes, but both runners have picked that one up.
Okay. In Crosskeys, there is one guaranteed in Pinball Room and Skull.
Because the entrance randomizer is built on an older branch of the randomizer, it does have a guaranteed Skullwood small key in Pinball Room. So are we officially in GT Big Key Go mode?
Yep, this is officially GT Big Key Go mode, so obviously the most dense place left is Swamp Palace. There's also the Sluice item, which Orange has checked before going into Swamp Palace. There could still be oddball stuff like the Tower of Hera, big key chest. And there could be the pedestal. Yep, and there is one more entrance that is locked behind the Bombos Medallion on top of Turtle Rock. Well, Turtle Rock Vanilla main entrance. I'm not sure if that one can still be an item or not.
And of course, both runners in Swamp Palace.
Yep. And of course, we can also find something like Book, which would add another entrance. The hole in the pyramid is Ganon himself, which is why we need the GT Big Key. Ether Medallion, that's the wrong one. Andy opting to skip left side swamp, and I definitely don't blame him there. I think it's likely that Orange is going to do the same thing. Orange and Andy. It's a really close foot race right now. All comes down to execution at this point, then.
Ice Palace.
Oh my gosh, there's the book! Alright, well now it doesn't necessarily come down to execution. There could still be the routing decision of tablets versus Hera Big Key Chest. And there's the wrong book. Alright, there's the wrong Big Key. So now there's even more decisions that we could find. And with the book, we can check the pedestal if we're also checking the Skull Woods Big Chest.
This is getting delightful.
This is anyone's race, once again.
Ganon is in the pyramid today, which is why we need to find a big key.
Alright, Andy with a very nice Argus kill. Orange not too far behind. That was not our big key.
At this point, I think you have to go back into Swamp.
Yep. So Swamp left side, Hera, Skullwood's big chest, entrance at Turtle Rock maybe, pedestal are, I believe, all the options that remain.
And one of those is still out of logic.
Also the GT entrance, that's true.
And Andy is going for the ped check.
Yeah, Andy going right away for the ped check, not doing the Skullwood's big key first. And Andy opting to skip left side. We'll see if Orange also skips left side, or if he goes back into Swamp. Just an armor upgrade on the pedestal.
Yeah, that's a dead pedestal today. And we're getting a full left side Swamp skip from both runners.
Both of them! Neither of them wants to do that left side Swamp right now. And I think that makes sense. The other isolated checks take less time than left side collectively from this point. So we're doing some book checks. And by some, I mean one.
We're doing a book check. Bombo's tablet. Orange could combine this with Meyer.
That's true, Orange hasn't done Meyer yet.
And it's just bombs on Bombos.
Alright, Andy is heading up to the Ganon's Tower area, so 2 entrances here.
And Orange is combining this with the Mimic Cave check.
Yep, that makes sense. We saw this from Andy earlier, but Orange still had it yet to do. We'll see if Orange opts for Misery Mire after this.
I certainly hope not.
Goes over to that flute right away. We're not seeing Meyer yet.
We're getting an Ether tablet check from Andy.
Not Ether tablet. Well, I guess there are 2 entrances up here, but Andy can only go through one of them right now. Andy is going to beat Mothula, which we haven't seen yet on either runner's side, so this could also be the play.
It's also the best time Andy has to do this.
Yep, Andy has seen the item, but... Well, Andy has seen that pedestal wasn't required, but doesn't necessarily know if there's an item on Mothula.
I think Orange is going for our GT entrance.
Yep, I personally am not sure what could be here, but the runners most likely are keeping a checklist of items themselves, so they will probably know if there's a location that has checks still remaining. And Orange this way will also be able to combine that with the Ether Tablet.
The rarely seen Ganon's Tower open in Crosskeys.
And Andy opting to clear Turtle Rock. This will send him back a little bit. And no! The Ganon's Tower entrance does not yield an item. Orange gonna check Ether Tablet.
Is it left side swamp or Skullwood's big chest right now?
Could still be Hera. Could still be Hera big key chest. Alright, Orange also opting to clear Mothula. We know this isn't it, but if you're right here, then it's a sensible thing to do. Alright, Andy checking Sahasrara for that green pendant item.
GP turn in.
And Orange is back in Kakariko. Not going to Swamp Palace. Might go to Skull Woods, though. And can combo it with the ped check. This will let Orange know that he doesn't have to do Mire for the pedestal. Could still need to do Mire for the 2 items. Andy is doing the Hera basement. So
We know that Ganon's in the pyramid because we know that everything else that we found every other drop in.
not the Skullwoods big chest.
Oh no.
This is opening up the door. Orange about to check the pedestal. And we'll see what's after this. Mire or left side swamp?
Please be left side swamp. It's the key to
Orange.
put in logic.
Oh, Orange misfluted. Yep. Going to 8. What is here?
A slightly faster way to get to the left side swamp.
Oh, okay.
No,
That's...
it's big red bomb time.
Ah, Orange hasn't done this yet, that's right. Okay. So this isn't quite as long of an escort mission for Orange as it was for Andy, because they already opened the portal at Aghanim, and Orange can just flute there. Andy gets the bad news about Skull Woods, and will it be Will it be left side swamp after this?
I think Andy has to.
Yeah, sometimes depending on logic, you have to flute with Big Red Bomb. Andy also missed flutes. Both runners are, I'm sure, very nervous about this very difficult situation. And here goes Andy back into Swamp Palace, going to check out that left side.
So, what's going to be on Swamp Palace? Because at this point, I think it has to be the GT Big Key.
I don't think there's anything else, right?
Oh no, we're doing the pack of the basement again.
Yeah, this is efficient routing for Orange. Checking Pyramid Fairy entrance and then comboing that into Hera while he's over here. Unfortunately, we already got the bad news about Hera Basement from Andy's side. I guess it could technically be Turtle Rock entrance if Bombos Medallion is here, but I also think Bombos Medallion would have to be here if that is the case. And that is correct. Orange still hasn't finished Meyer, but
It's at this point it's 2 and 2, and both are about as slow. But both sets of 2 are about as slow to check. All right, this has to be the GT Big Key, I think. So there is nothing else.
GT Big Key or Bombos Medallion leading to GT Big Key. Assuming that there is another entrance that has items yet. And Orange is heading into Meyer now. And there's the GT Big Key on Andy's side.
Yeah, that's a spot that no one wants that to be in.
Yup.
Both runners skipped left side swamp when they went. And now we're going to watch Andy climb Gang's tower.
Yep, left side swamp. You hate to see it. Yeah, in regards to skipping left side swamp, I think that it's a case of you're making a play to skip left side swamp, and at that point they're sticking to it. I believe they feel that if the opponent did left side swamp, then it would be a loss to take the time loss and go back to check it, even though that's a relatively fast thing to do. So, despite having to go on the Great Adventure Tour, looking for this GT Big Key and coming up empty-handed, at some point you lay your cards on the table, and Andy did just that, and so did Orange.
That GT Big Key is atrocious, though. Let's be honest here. The fact we were GT Big Key Go mode is phenomenal.
Yep, GT Big Key Go mode in Crosskeys.
Andy going through some of the most satisfying rooms in this game. The Wizrobe rooms in Ganon's Tower with a Cane of Samaria.
Alright, Orange doesn't even want to get that pendant. No interest in being able to pull the pedestal, and I think has now realized that he has to go back to the left side swamp. Or maybe there's something else. In the meantime, Andy is over here going to wave hi to Moldorm as he passes through. And by through, I mean through the hole in Moldorm's arena.
That missed hover was unfortunate.
Yeah, very close to taking a death there, too.
Orange is going back to pod for the one item. And we know it's one item because he saved Scum to big key chest.
Alright, this time Andy does opt to kill Moldorm out of spite.
So, Danny, how good's your geometry?
I've passed a trig class in my day.
I can't tell if that was 2 or 3.
Yeah, I can't. I wasn't listening, and I'm not sure if one of them registered just twice.
I'm still a fan of the French vanilla arrow. That was, in fact, the triple on the first cycle.
Alright, 3-1-1-1, and our duck friend is going to drop Andy off right at Ganon.
And we're gonna drop in and kill us a pig.
Yep. In the meantime, Orange finally goes back to left side swamp and is gonna find that GT big key and probably not be very happy.
Looks like that was a 1-in-1. Or one hit phase 1. But with these dash pokes, we're going to be getting, I believe, a full 1-in-1 here.
Andy with a silver miss. And GG to Andy, taking down Ganon, just has one short little walk to make, and is going to win this very, very close race.
Yeah, what a phenomenal run by Andy, finishing with a racetime.gg time of 2 hours, 17 minutes, and 52 seconds.
Yep. And right as that happened, Orange just got the big key to GT to enter Go mode. So, GG to Andy, and Orange will looks to be finishing this out. We'll do the GT climb, and we'll also finish as well. Gotta say, this seed was quite an adventure. A lot of fun to watch, although I'm sure it must have been very stressful for the runners.
Yeah, especially as you get later and later and the big key is not showing up. Alright, and I believe that is Andy joining us in the commentary booth. GG.
Hello, GG's.
Well, Andy, how did you feel about that seed?
There was a lot going on. I felt really, really good early. Finding Pod with a bunch of small keys for boots that locked the Moon Pearl was pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I felt pretty good about when I got the boots compared to like everything else that I had left to do. I found out that the Zora item despawns if you scroll it off the screen today.
Yep, we noticed that.
That was fun. I was pretty worried about like that being the hammer or something at some point. I put off Thieves Town after finding the big key locked behind the flippers, I guess, technically. And of course, the hammer was just in Thieves Town. The seed just had like a little bit of everything.
I think at the time that was both of your last checks going into Thieves Town without the hammer. Each of you looking for the hammer, and then right after finding the hammer, you went right back to Ganon's Tower to look for more items, which nothing really ended up turning up other than the Meyer big key, which didn't lead to anything. Orange had did a little bit of other stuff before committing to left side GT, but ultimately then it took another turn and you were both looking for the dam to open up Swamp Palace, which we found to be locked behind Flute.
Yeah, I my last entrance without Flute or Quake, I guess, was Pyramid Fairy. And that ended up being Spiral, of course, for my third sword. I completely I don't know why, I just like mentally marked Ice Palace as done in my head, even though like it's not lit up on my tracker. I definitely have chests available in Ice Palace on my entrance tracker, and I just didn't go back there. And I realized while I was in Meyer, I think, that I was like, I should probably go do Ice Palace. I really hope the Flute's not there. But I don't think anything really changes. I probably skip Left Side Swamp and then go to Meyer before going back to Left Side Swamp anyways. So no harm, no foul, I suppose.
And that going to Meyer before Left Side Swamp is exactly what happened to Orange.
I also felt really good about the early play. Like, if it had paid off with, like, me feeling like I got boots earlier, and actually being able to get into Meyer, if it had, like, Hammer or something, I would have felt really, really good about my early game. But then Hookshot was just available already anyways. But yeah, the seed was interesting, that's for sure.
It was definitely a thriller to watch. Yeah. Orange did find the Flute on Cold Stare slightly ahead of you, and it was interesting when you were both looking through the Misery Mire and Desert area just hoping to find the dam. Both of you were doing that simultaneously, so it kind of became a question about routing then, but ultimately the big key itself didn't end up being found. At the time that you were going through the Mire and Desert area and found Sahasrara, Orange did already have the green pendant and knew that that wasn't anything. That was another potential divergence that could have happened. But then, once you opened up the dam, both of you went to Swamp Palace right away. Orange actually checked the flooded item first, and both of you skipped left side swamp and left it for pretty much the very end. But at that point, Orange still had much more to do than you did.
Yeah, I was, I completely forgot about the dam drain item before going to Swamp, and I was like, well, it's probably not there, because I feel like my opponent would be done already if it was. That's how I, like, started feeling towards the end of the seed, when I was, like, doing the one-offs. I had enough one-offs where once I got the book in Swamp, I was just checking Pedestal, because so it was there. I at least had like a clear direction. But once like it stopped turning up, I was like, I'm pretty sure we both just last location left side swamp, and it's just gonna be about who gets there first. Which I'm assuming that's what ended up happening.
Yep, that's exactly what ended up happening.
And if I may, if you people get your GGs in chat for Orange, finishing this seed with an official race time of 2 hours, 24 minutes, and 33 seconds. My apologies, Andy.
No problem. I was pretty much done with my sentence anyways, so. Didn't crack the 200 collection. That's unfortunate. Almost.
I'm sure with the items that you scouted, you were pretty much there.
And I believe that is Orange joining us here in the commentary booth. GG's Orange.
GG.
GG's.
Well, how do you feel about Left Side Swamp now?
The whole reason I skipped it was because I was going against a runner of Andy's caliber, so I was like, okay, so with how late I was to the hammer, for example, and all of how right side GT was locking basically the whole seat, I was like, okay, so he's probably ahead of me. He's still not done. It's probably not left side swamp. So it's like, left side swamp doesn't exist. There was one variable I had not even considered, and it didn't dawn on me until swamp was my last location, and he still wasn't done. I was actually ahead.
Let's see. Andy was first to the hammer in Thieves Town, but then you were the first one to the flute in Ice Palace, and you both ended up entering Swamp Palace at pretty much the same time. I think Andy was something like 30 seconds ahead, clearing through rooms in Swamp Palace. And both of you walked away from left side after clearing the dungeon. Which is totally understandable. Like, at that point, if you commit to skipping left side, then you can no longer do diver down to get to it, which makes left side even slower and even more of a pain to go back to than if you had just not skipped left side to begin with. So, I respect committing to the play of skipping left side and leaving that until literally the very last thing.
This was basically just metagaming gone horribly wrong.
The big difference between you guys coming out of Skullwood, or excuse me, out of Swamp Palace, was Andy had more done prior to Swamp Palace. So your last locations were several minutes apart.
Yeah, I figured as much. I had a very rough early game, dying several times because, well, as it turns out, just go do the Eastern Light World opener forehead, and you'll get a sword and a bow and be all set.
Yeah, Andy did that right away early game.
Yeah,
which was definitely a nice advantage.
Because there were some calls I made that ended up being really stupid, like attempting to do weaponless 3-heart Eastern Palace Big Key chest. That was a really stupid call. Then there was just some unfortunate incidents. But I felt like I felt I was behind for most of this, and that was probably true. But then the whole left side swamp debacle happened, and it was like, wait a minute, was I actually ahead? And that kind of feels bad for me because I thought I had actually been ahead and could have won this if I had just gone left side swamp right away and threw it away. But that's just rando for you. You make one wrong decision and it's over.
Yeah, that's rando for you. And it's not necessarily a wrong decision to skip or to do left side swamp. There are commitments that you make, then some of them end up working out, and others end up going belly up. But yes, there were a couple unfortunate deaths early game that it's understandable that you would feel behind. Another one that comes to mind was the Paradox Cave situation where the two Moldorms, you did a nice job defeating the Moldorms in the room with 5 chests using just bombs, but then the two that were at the top ended up being very effective bodyguards when you only have 3 hearts at the time.
I was impressed with the bombs-only Paradox Cave.
Well, thank you for that. I felt that throughout this whole seed, I needed to play very aggressive, so I normally don't YOLO connectors as often as I did, but this was, a matchup where I felt I had to do that to stand a chance.
It was quite a thriller, especially right at the very end. So thank you both for providing some awesome entertainment on that front. So going forward, Andy goes to 5-1, Orange goes to 4-2. Neither of you is mathematically eliminated from moving on and advancing next. Any takeaways from this match? Any thoughts about what you would like to do for Rando coming up?
Give me early boots again. Pretty please. Thanks.
I will probably go back inside the swamp if I try that back first play, 1 item from go.
Totally understandable.
It's definitely, I think I had like 7 things left, maybe, outside of left side swamp when I finished it. So, I don't know. It's one of those things that's a no-brainer in a non-tournament race, but tournaments change everything.
Tournaments do indeed change everything.
Especially at a high-end match like this one.
Yeah, apparently there was some demand to see this matchup. I hope we didn't disappoint.
This was very entertaining. I think everyone got a kick out of it.
I don't think we disappointed on the entertainment front, especially given how many viewers we had here on ZSR2.
Yeah, thank you guys for commentating and restreaming, and GG's again, Orange. Best of luck next week, and hopefully in the play-in.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having the rest of my tournament be elimination matches. But my overall goal is just to finish the Swiss rounds with a positive record, so I won't be sad if I go 5-3.
All right, ready to wrap up?
Yep, I think that about wraps it up. So,
All right.
I'll say to wrap it up, thank you all for watching. Make sure to follow the runners, and I see the links in the chat already. Also, huge thank you to Zeke for commenting with me. My name is Danny Music. Thank you to Ricky for restreaming, and thank you to Toffile and Professor Pixie for being our trackers today and keeping us well informed about items in this crazy seed.
And also thank you to Tumultac for filling in for Pixie when her computer froze on her for a bit there. Coming up on ZSR tomorrow at 7 a.m. in the morning Eastern Time, we have a Majora's Mask Randomizer Season 2 tournament match between Riley versus Mika. I believe that's actually the first Majora's Mask Rando tournament match of the season, so that's going to be pretty hype. At 1 p.m. EDT, we have another Crosskeys match between Incoherent versus Broger, so that's going to be fun to watch. 2 p.m. we have another Majora's Mask Randomizer match between Jess versus Bruzler. And at 2:15 tomorrow, we have a Majora's Mask Vanilla Moon Crash ADR tournament match between Adruk versus Colin. So a lot of Majora's Mask, plenty of Crosskeys opportunities as well. Hopefully get volunteers for them. And with that, we're going to go ahead and sign off here. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you had a great time, and have a wonderful rest of your night.